1st of May today. Is the sun shining? I really do hope so. We're cracking on with chapter 6 of the Stone Goblins. I do hope you're enjoying it. Here we go. Chapter 6, Carty's Brain. Chief Cheesyfeet was so cross his trousers fell down. This made him even madder and he hopped around shouting at everyone. Somehow, a team of stone tippers managed to lift the stone and grab Carty by the ankles just before it came crashing down again. They plopped her on the cart and took her downside. Now, stone goblins don't have doctors. The closest thing they have is a goblin medic known as a Boppertop. He believes he has the magic power to take away any goblin's pain. His method is to hit, bop, the patient's head, top, with a mallet. Of course, he usually knocks the poor goblin unconscious, so by the time they wake up, at least the original pain is gone and long forgotten, together with the memory, usually. Boppertop looked into Carty's eyes as they rolled lazily around in circles. They seemed to be moving in different directions. Since the stone had landed on her head, another bop was probably not a good idea. He decided to give it a try anyway, but Dribbledraws pulled his ears just as Boppertop was swinging the mallet. Boppertop lost his balance and fell backwards, flipping the mallet high into the air. He landed on his back and watched it come tumbling down towards him. No, he managed to say very quietly, just before it landed on his nut. He didn't wake up for a week. Chief Cheesyfeet was pacing his throne room. He had seen Boppertop dragged past his door moments earlier. Now, Saggypant, Seepage and Snowbug stood before him. 2 plonks and a plank, he thought. He took a closer look at the twins and wondered if the effects of being trapped under a stone the size of a buffalo for 10 hours had worn off. He honestly couldn't tell. Well, he said at last. Snowbug was still too upset at the state of Carty's brain to speak, so Seepage coughed and stepped forward. Truth is, boss, he said carefully, old Carty's been well and truly hammered, and she's a little scrambled up top. He tapped his head with 2 fingers. That is to say, we think her brain's got a bit loose. Mashed banana for brains is what you said, interrupted Saggypant helpfully. Snowbug whimpered and bit his knuckles. Seepage frowned and quickly added, she's speaking well enough, only, he paused, not all the words are in the right order. Saggypant noticed the chief wasn't sharing their smiles and added, she can still clean her tooth as long as someone else does the brushing. Chief Cheesyfeet slumped back in his chair with a groan. Oh, how long before she... But he didn't get to finish. There came a sudden burst of something like thunder, so loud it sounded as if it was inside the tunnel. Now what? Said the chief, brushing rubble from his shoulders. It happened again, and again. The noises continued for what seemed like hours before finally coming to an abrupt halt. Chief Cheesyfeet got up. Snowbug was standing to attention in the middle of the room, covered in dust. He decided to get a grip. Carty would be fine. The others were huddled together in a corner. It is my considered opinion, Snowbug began, that we should investigate the noises as soon as we possibly can, boss, on account of them being unusual and possibly dangerous to our well-being. Yes, 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 snapped Chief Cheesyfeet. Will you stop waffling on? He peered into the eyes of Snowbug, who seemed not to have moved during what appeared to have been an earthquake. He wondered, not for the first time, why he encouraged the company and vice of such a first-class plonk. Mind you, he thought, when things go wrong, which seems to be happening more and more lately, he always had somewhere to point the finger of blame. He sighed and looked around the room for the other fools. Now then, he said, brushing himself down and briefly disappearing in a cloud of dust. I'll need 2 idiots, volunteers, to check out the tunnels and report back to me as soon as possible. And the next chapter will be chapter 7, Earthquakes and Lost Teeth. Have a fantastic week. See you next Friday. Bye.